1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hola, hola, hola. Hey, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. La revolución de los negocios. Centro, centro. Hola, hola. 1, 2, 2, sí. Hola, hola, hola. 1, 2, 3. Va mejor que los otros, tío. Son mejor estos. Son mejor estos que los otros. Sí. Hola, hola, hola. 1, 2, 3. Un pelín ahí, pero está mejor que los otros incluso, ¿eh? Hola, hola, hola. 1, 2, 2. Sí, 1, 2, 3. Hola, hola, hola. Centro, centro. Un pelín, pero está mejor que los otros. Sí, pues ya está. Hay un pelín más abajo.
y bienvenidos al nacimiento de Madrid Platform, el primer hub internacional de negocios entre Europa y América Latina que surge de la necesidad de revolucionar, de dar una vuelta de tuerca al mundo business, al mundo de los negocios. Nosotros nos encontramos en este momento
Right now are in the auditorium of Centro Centro, and as you know, this is where the entire event is going to take place. The Madrid City Council has this event as part of its reactivation plan, which is very important to it in this context, present context. And we have a strong commitment on the public administration side so that companies, together with us, internationally, can move ahead of this crisis. And I will invite the opening speakers to come and welcome us officially. First, Ms. Begoña Villaces, who is the Deputy Mayor of Madrid. Applause for her. Well, first of all, thank you very much for coming, for being here, for coming to Madrid. Many of you are visiting us. I have to say that this is a dream come true for us today in Madrid. It's often said that things are easier said than done, and oftentimes it's also said that Madrid is the open door for Latin America into Europe, and it works both ways, vice versa. We understood that this was a hard fact, but the different governments in place have always had the task of trying to bring things down to brass tacks and have things materialize. We can see this out on the street in the city, and we can see it in Bogota and Rio de Janeiro, in other cities around Latin America. We needed the opportunity to have this materialize, and I think that the time has come here and now. We, I believe, have had a year, this last year, that is unforgettable. And of course, it shouldn't be forgotten. This is a turning point for us. This is what we need to rethink things. And we have done just that. We've rethought a lot. We need to call the status quo into question and see how we can have the city evolve. And we really want Madrid to be that open door that I just mentioned, because it, in a manner of speaking, always has been. There's a lot of thought, there has been recently, about the boundaries, the physical boundaries of cities. And I think that today, Madrid is beginning to become boundless, because it really is part and parcel of a lot of Latin American cities, too. Madrid is a city with a cultural melting pot, and 1 out of every 4 citizens in Madrid has some sort of tie with Latin America, either a family member, other types of sentimental or romantic ties even, and it works the other way around. Madrid is highly competitive economically. We, since 2015, have been growing at a rate of 3% of GDP, and we are growing at a rate above the rest of Spain. And in midst destructions, we have been able to create 2,000 companies in the midst of this pandemic. And it's a non-conforming city. It wants to thrive and wants to be welcoming. Madrid in infrastructure is one of the most competitive cities around the world, 6th in Europe, 6th largest airport. Overall, we, together with Portugal, have a population of roughly 55 million inhabitants, so it's very significant for Latin America, and Latin America is certainly a significant market for us. We, at the Barajas airport, see how people have come in, and there are a lot of handshakes involved in this new platform. Handshakes between business people, creators. And we have not only 13 original countries, but now more. There are many airports around Spain and in Latin America. There are points of encounter, and we can see how multiculturality is gaining ground throughout. So if there's anything that has to be highlighted during this pandemic, anything that's going to help us, enable us to overcome the present and future, which is both a health and social crisis, is the word heart, the word union, and the word work. Hard work. Everybody who is here with me today, Mr. Miguel Ángel Redondo, who is our Counselor for Economy, Employment and Innovation, and all the rest of you. Thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you for continuing to question the status quo. This lack of conforming is necessary and productive. As we heard before, Madrid platform is going to go beyond the 3 days it's being held. This is just a seed that we're planting for the future. Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Deputy Lady Mayor. And now I will call Mr. Carlos Morales, who is the chair of Madrid Platform. Very warm, big round of applause for him, please. Good morning. Very good day to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the Madrid City Council, who supported this initiative from the very outset, and particularly the Deputy Lady Mayor. I would like to, of course, recognize Mr. Miguel Ángel Redondo, and very especially Mr. José Luis Moreno, who's Director General for Economy in the City Council. Thank you very much. And, of course, Madrid Investment Attraction. Thank you, Daniel, on your side. And secondly, the government of Spain and all the ministries who have decided to support us. They'll be with us here. Directors General, Secretaries of States, and the Secretary General of the Presidency, and Ministry of Industry, Ms. Reyes Maroto. I would like to thank them for their key, decisive support. This gives us backing in addition to other agencies like ISEX providing funding. And we also have representatives from culture and sport. And of course, the Secretary of State for Global Spain, who is also with us today at this opening session, Mr. Manuel Munith. Thank you very much for being here. Thirdly, I would like to thank the regional authorities here, led by the Madrid region. We have the Director General of Economy from the Madrid region here with us. We have had a brief recess, we might say. We're happy to see you back here. And the Chambers of Commerce from Madrid, but also European and Ibero-American Chambers of Commerce, Chile, Brazil, and others in Latin America and France, Poland, and others here in Europe. We're all in Madrid platform presenting innovation and international projection. Thank you very much for your support. Fourthly, I wanted to mention the Organization of Ibero-American States and the Business Council, the Secretariat General, thanks Pablo, and we also would like to thank the International Federation of Young Entrepreneurs. Thank you very much for all of this support. Lastly, although we are not listing people in their order of importance, but we have the businesses themselves without whom none of this would be possible, and you can see them here behind me. Without the businesses, this is impossible. We have a spectacular business fabric in Europe and, of course, in Spain and in Ibero-America. And in the face of the adversity of this pandemic, we're saying we're going to take on the initiative again and move forward. I would like to extend my special greeting to Mr. José Antonio Jareño. He was the first person I spoke to Madrid platform about, and also Mr. Pedro Martín. Thank you very much to both of you for your support. And how can I forget the support from my team? In order to have made it this far, I would have to take an hour to give people thanks. I just have a few minutes. So I'm going to be very concise in telling you about Madrid Platform. Madrid Platform is a public-private initiative where Madrid stands as a city that bridges Europe and the Americas. For many, many years, those of us who have worked internationally in business have heard once and again, Spain is the gateway to Latin America in Europe, and it's the other way around. And yet the years go by and there's no specific framework for this. So we are seeking to make this something real. It's now here, Madrid Platform. And we've presented this to more than 300 companies, and we're very happy to say that nearly 100 of them are present here today. Madrid Platform is working on two different profiles of company with two different fields. We have one-on-one meetings that are going to be virtual this year because of the pandemic, and we also have an agora where a company goes to the public square to present its business. This is the first Madrid Platform, and we have 2,000 meetings that will be held under our umbrella here. And we will hold this every year in May in the city of Madrid through our technological platform where we accommodate all businesses that want to belong to this ecosystem. To explain this very similarly, in this technological platform, we will be present all year long, but we have the hub here to hold in-person events once a year. So this is a stable ecosystem. This hub is the point of encounter, the meeting point, and you will be able to discover everything that we're talking about, the agora or the networking areas. And finally, I would like to say just how happy I am because we are the first in-person event here in Madrid since the pandemic, and this is clearly a turning point for a new phase. At a time like this, our businesses, believe in ourselves to overcome this terrible situation. Working shoulder to shoulder with the public administration, we're putting forward a new type of business relationship where the Madrid brand is internationally significant. Welcome to Madrid Platform. Thank you very much, Carlos, and congratulations, particularly to the entire team. I would also like to invite you to discover everything that we have to offer you over the next few days. Now, Mr. Manuel Munith, the Secretary of State for Global Spain. Welcome. Very good morning to all of you. Deputy Lady Mayor, Carlos, thank you for your presentation. It's a pleasure to be here. I know that there'll be many other representatives from the government of Spain at Madrid Platform. We will be able to express our opinion about the situation that we're enduring and the opportunities that lie ahead for us. I would like to start out with a message of optimism, first and foremost, in terms of how we see the next few months ahead of us. This event has a certain degree of risk attached to it. I'll explain that, but I want to be giving you a message of optimism. We have a few landmarks that we've passed over the next few months, and this enables us to have a better outlook. First of all, the development and rollout of vaccines, which is absolutely extraordinary. The fact that we have developed not a single vaccine, but many vaccines in a year, in only a year, and now we're in the production and distribution phase. The average period to develop a vaccine had been 10 years, and this is only a tenth of that period. The second reason for optimism has to do with the state of the economy, and I'm going to deal with that. The IMF estimates that the global economy will be increasing at a rate of about 6%. We have about 5.4%, and we have a closing of the EU's pluriannual budget, and we have the next generation funds. Spain is going to be one of the major beneficiaries. We're going to be receiving nearly 150 billion of those euros. Spain had been the major recipient of cohesion and other EU funds, and we had received 6 billion. We're talking about 149 billion, and that offers huge opportunities for us in our country. And in addition to this, which I should say in passing, didn't necessarily have to be, we reached an agreement for extraordinary solidarity. This is unprecedented and was achieved last year. In addition to this, we also have global savings that occurred last year, household savings globally of $5.4 billion US dollars, which is roughly 6% of GDP, which wasn't consumed and will certainly come to the fore next year. And then we have the victory of Joe Biden in the United States and the plans that are being unrolled there. And I'm going to share the figures of the three major plans. First, the 1.9 trillion US dollars was the first plan, infrastructure plan nearly 2 trillion, and an additional 2 trillion to help families. So we're talking about $6 trillion in stimulus in the US. And this is extraordinarily important for us and for our company. We have a stock of investment in the United States, which is greater than 80 billion euros, and many of the companies sponsoring this event are benefiting directly from their contracts and businesses in the United States. The third source of optimism, in my view, is the passing of the budget here in Spain last year, and I'm talking not in political but strictly in economic terms. The European recovery plan will be channeled through our general national budget here, without which we wouldn't be able to channel and receive them. And then finally, the Brexit agreement is vital to us here in Spain because of all of the business impact that our relations with the UK has. So if we add up the vaccines, the European economic measures, the state of the world economy, the Brexit agreement, all of this is very favorable as a backdrop for our country. But this doesn't mean that we're not facing challenges and significant risks. The first is still the pandemic, which is still hitting us hard. We are still exposed to risks in terms of new strains of the virus, and we are exposed to the risk of not covering everyone everywhere with the vaccines. We need international solidarity. We need to use COVAX and other mechanisms in order to do this. Only when everyone around the world is covered against this virus will we have solved the problem. This is a risk that we need to face, and the government is working on a host of different fronts. We are major COVAX donors. The president of our government was just in Oporto and presented a plan to make patents, granting patents more flexible, amongst other measures. And there are 4 major risks that I can see in the very short term. We need to get back to our mobility and have a tourist season this summer that is as close as possible to normality. I know it may seem surprising, but our country is a huge player in mobility. Secondly, the unfolding of the Recovery and Resilience Plan that needs to come very quickly and effectively and needs to cover those who have been hit hardest by this crisis, and also the avant-garde digitalization, decarbonization, and circular economy. And then we have the geographic distribution of growth. We need to have opportunity and growth spread evenly across the country. There have been losses of opportunity in many areas around Spain. And then we also need to be just. We cannot repeat the mistakes we made in 2008 and 2009, where many people around the world, even in advanced economies, felt that they had been left behind. If we continue on this path, we'll have even more political instability. we saw this happen after the last crisis in 2008, 2009. And this is why a good share of the response to this crisis has been from the grassroots upwards, coverage of people via furlough and so forth. And the third major risk has to do with politics. We need to build broad consensus about what this country needs in order to implement the right reforms. And this is one of the reasons that it is a pleasure for me, truly, to be here supporting Madrid platforms, because all of us in our different roles in public service need to be with this. And finally, Madrid, the city and the region, is called upon to be a leader in the economic recovery of our country. It is because it has the proper physical and digital wherewithal that all of us needs. It's crucial for technology transfer. It is also important because it has business fabric, internationalized business fabric, to be specific, and this is going to be one of the factors for recovery over the next few years. And it's also true because of the quality of life that it offers for people to live and work here. And we will do this hand in hand with our Latin American partners. We have 149 billion euros involved. This is a path that works both ways. And this tie is going to be critical for the recovery. I'll leave it at this. I hope that these debates are very fruitful. I'll leave you with a message of optimism, but also of challenges that we share. We have the firm will of the ministry, the diplomatic corps, all of my team, for this recovery to be prompt, fair, equitable, and we want to make our Spanish economy more competitive and more digitalized. Thank you for your efforts. I would like to wish you a very good Congress and good meetings. Thank you. Thank you very much, Manuel, for this optimistic message. And now we can consider that Madrid platform has been opened. We're going to leave you with 20 minutes. We're going to disinfect the auditorium, and we will be back here at 10 a.m. to begin with the International Forum for Digital Transformation. I'll see you soon.